Oh Lord, but it's different because I'll have to share two different types of content on different types of. Oh shoot. Too bad. I never thought about that. Okay, well, let's start then. So I have. Let me just share my screen so that we can start this. I think I'll also just share my screen on the other side. I think it will always just be. Oh yeah, I think you can share my screen once, and then it's just entirely. Okay, the side. Share my screen. Guys have cracked live streaming for free. There's this platform that I use called Livestream. Uh, it gives you two screens to, like two channels um, to stream to. So you can choose either talk or you stream on Instagram, or you can stream on YouTube or another one, but you cannot stream on two at a go, or on three or four without paying. And it's kind of expensive, $69 per month, which is that is so expensive. That is like 7,000 per month. But then I only do like live streams once in a while, so it doesn't make sense. So this is the other live stream. Uh, I'm in another live stream inside another live stream. But anyway, let's bring up Bear. Let's build this thing. So here is Bear. If you don't know what Bear is, this is Bear. What Bear helps us with is to try to come up with ideas around stuff. So it just helps you to kind of map out what you want to do. So today we are building a platform called Agent Pay. Agent Pay is MCP's Agent Pay. So let me just confirm if this thing is working. Just need an assurance. Close this. And there are very, very important information here that I'm not supposed to be sharing. Yes. Agent Pay. So our biggest task here is we want to make sure that we push, like we bring M-Pesa into ChatGPT, into Claude, into all these things. So the basic description of Agent Pay, which we want to build today in less than 2 hours, time starts now. Agent Pay is um, bringing M-Pesa inside Chat GPT. Okay, so which models are we looking to? There was someone who said something yesterday. Frontier models. It was Blacky. Shout out to Blacky. So I want to bring it to ChatGPT. We want to bring it to Claude. We want to bring it to where? We want to bring it to Gemini. We want to bring it to Casa. We also want to bring it to which other model? DeepSeek, whether it's outdated. Who even uses DeepSeek nowadays? We want to bring it to So let me see. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek. Which one the other ones do you guys use? My main one is always Claude. I think I have it open. No. Anyway, so yeah, so Agent Pay, we want to bring M-Pesa inside ChatGPT. And the main thing that we want to do here is make payments using prompts. And we're going to build it in such a way that the account that you have as a person inside ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Casa or DeepSeek, you can use it. We're going to tie that specific email address to a wallet, and then you can send money using prompts to different people. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. And then next is we are going to, so Agent Pay, bring M-Pesa inside ChatGPT, make payments using prompts. What else? So the things that we are going to need, let's call them prerequisites. Prerequisites. We are going to need M-Pesa API. We are going to need, we have to create an MCP server. So an MCP is context server. We will need Casa. Shout out to Blackie, Mururi, and Tabitha, and everyone who is trying to push the agenda of Casa in Kenya. And then another thing that we are going to be bringing is what else are we going to need? So inside M-Pesa API, we are going to need something called B2C. We are going to need B2B. We are going to need, I guess that is only. We are going to need something also called contacts, because you'd want to bring all your contacts to ChatGPT so that you actually send the money through ChatGPT. Okay. And what else are we going to bring? So the contacts here is who you want to send money to. Okay. What else are we going to need? Let me just check the live, how it's going. Yeah, so those are the things that I think we're going to need to create Agent Pay. Agent Pay is going to be an API, not really an API, but an agent that we're going to bring to ChatGPT, Codex, and you can make payments using prompts, right? Send money to Blackie, or send money to Moruri, or send money to Nutcase, or send money to my mom, or anywhere, right? And we are going to use different prerequisites. The things that we're going to need is a M-Pesa API, which we already have, the B2B and B2C part. We're going to have to create an MCP server. We are going to do all these things inside Casa. Casa is an AI IDE. Shout out to, again, Blackie. He calls himself on IG as f.e.l.i.x, something like that. And then we're also going to need contacts where you'd want to send money to. Similarly, I think this is a bit tied to WaPay. If you know WaPay, what WaPay is just, send money on WhatsApp. So you can find WaPay here, wapay.com. So send money on WhatsApp. Essentially, what we're going to do is to make sure that we just mirror it, because WaPay is already on WhatsApp. So we just want to mirror that and then bring it into ChatGPT. Good. So let's break it down. So inside inside creating an MCP is just basically we are going to create a connector that connects M-Pesa API to ChatGPT. And if you go to your ChatGPT, I don't want to open mine, but let me try to find one that is no, I'm not opening my ChatGPT. So we're going to creating an MCP server. The things that we need is for the senior developers inside here. I don't know what you guys think we should do, but let's see. So let's see. I need to find out if this thing works on TikTok. So when creating an MCP server, I don't know much about MCP servers, honestly speaking. So we're going to use Casa. We have some few Casa credits to spend here, and we'll actually see how to go about it. I already started writing the code for Agent Pay some time, and so I don't want to go back to that code and then start explaining. But since because of time, I can just basically run back to that code and just check. So I'll just do my Casa here. This is very, very important. Damn, that was, what did I do? What the hell did I do? Oh Lord. Okay. So new open recent. I don't think it's on recent, but it should be on more. I just did. We'll go to Agent Pay. Save, I guess. I could have already configured this thing before I came here. But I hope no one has. I'm going to change those keys. So yeah, even the keys that we are going to use here, I'll definitely make sure that I've changed them so that we are not compromised as a company. You guys can take us back to Sayuni or something. Anyway, let's wait for this to open up. I'm kind of running a lot of processes in the background. So. But in the meantime, we can continue writing all the things that we need. So under ChatGPT, what we just need is connect our MCP server to ChatGPT. For example, you guys have heard that Bolt has been integrated into ChatGPT, Paystack has been integrated into ChatGPT, but then now what about M-Pesa itself being integrated into ChatGPT? The reason why I feel that this is going to be a big thing is because look at it this way. All these people are going to integrate all these things to ChatGPT, but then, for example, let's take, for example, Uber. They're going to, they've integrated already into ChatGPT, but then, like M-Pesa is not yet already on ChatGPT. So what is that connection going to look like? And then I'm not only going to put this to only have M-Pesa alone, but what if it can also have, different, you can do crypto on ChatGPT, you can do, different types of currencies or stuff like that inside ChatGPT. And so, for example, one of the things that I was thinking about before I started this video is, what about making a payment on to your friend who is abroad, but then just copying his wallet address, pasting it here, and then since your email is tied to your wallet that has money, you can just essentially send it to that because we're using the power of MCPs. I think Most developers would say that MCPs are going to be outdated in the future, but you know what? Let's see how this goes. Lord, I opened again the .env. Okay. So this is Agent Pay. I tried to come up with a very simple version of what it can do. I don't want to spend a lot of time writing the code from scratch, but I already came up with something. So this is actually what I would want to show you guys how it works, what it does, and um, how it's going to work, right? So this is the docs. Please, developers who are in here, make sure you write documentations. Documentations are the most important things that other developers will actually come and use. So, for example, this alone, when I give it to someone else, or even if I'm explaining to you guys, it's actually easier to explain since it has documentation. I never wrote this documentation. Casa wrote it. That's the reason why on the side you can actually see that agent pay payment method or something like that, right? Good. So bringing payments to AI assistants, Claude, ChatGPT, Casa, through an MCP server with M-Pesa and the pluggable payment gateways. So whereby you can plug as many gateways as possible, right? So how it works. So we have the table of contents, how it works step by step, local development, setup, and stuff like that. And then how it works. So this is actually how it works. So we have an AI client, which is Claude, ChatGPT, and the ones that you actually want to use. And then, so you send the payment, and then inside here we have our MCP server, who is the agent, picks that payment with an API. The REST API itself puts a token on top of that, and then it calls the payment API. It goes to our database to check transactions or create transactions, and then it calls the payment service, which is also tied to a policy engine. When it calls the payment service in question here is M-Pesa API because we're using Daraja. And then after that, the payment is processed, and that is actually how the cycle goes again. So payment processed, it should be somewhere here, payment processed, and then it goes to another loop. Good. So step by step, what happens? So user links their M-Pesa to Agent Pay. So I created the API where you link your payment, you link your M-Pesa, or you link your bank card or something like that. But when you click, so I also have a web app, right? Whereby when you click the payment, like on the MCP, when you call that scale, it happens that you can click and connect your M-Pesa through your number. And then from there, now you can get an SDK push to put money into your ChatGPT Agent Pay wallet. And then user will create the agent plus an API key to help you send money and all those things. And then AI, step 3, AI calls the MCP tool with the amount, recipient, and description. So there's where the part for, where is that part? There's where the part for contacts come in, because we need contacts to actually send money to. And then the MCP server forwards it to that endpoint, and then API authenticates that key, the policy, check the limits, merchant platforms, and stuff like that. If amount is approval, pending approval, processing, M-Pesa callback, these are things that you guys know. And then payment refunds and also those things. So request for refund, records in the database, live provider, all these things are done on the MCP side, not on the ChatGPT side. So the ChatGPT side is essentially your gateway to actually access what you have in your, in the other side of your wallet. And so this is our local setup, how it works. Forget about this. Oh, Lord, thank you. So in our .env, we have these. This is our short code. You can send us money. And then M-Pesa consumer key, secret key, because we're using B2C and B2B here. And then security credential to actually help us to do B2C. Callback URL to the callback URL is to do what? Is to confirm the payment receipts. M-Pesa passkey. You don't need to know it if you don't know it. And then important rules that we actually have is it must be on production because we're using live keys. And then that is just like a checklist of what to do to get the SDK push, the keys, I mean. So now the test is how to run a test here is, so we're using Carl. So you take the amount, I want to send 10 bob to the phone number, and then the description is, just like, pay test. And then this is the key that we actually set up on the SDK push side. Next is checklist JWT secret, because this thing has to be as secure as possible. But I don't think we're going to use JWT secrets because I think JWT secrets can be hacked inside MCP servers. And then setting M-Pesa.env to production. And then we have a server here. I think I'll just like use our
Hi,
local
my name is
server.
Caleb, and welcome to another video. And today we are going to talk about how.
Yeah, I was shooting some content somewhere. Yeah, and then we are going to run and host our MCP server. So the MCP server is going to be hosted on my local server so that I don't get attacks from everywhere. But then I have to put it online so that people actually access it. Yesterday we were in an event, Write the Docs event, and one of the speakers that was there showed to us how it was easy to hack into a Vercel, like the projects that you guys put on Vercel. I'll call him one day. I'll call him for a podcast, and then we can do a demonstration on how to, how he can get into your platforms and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. So option B here is to host the API on a server, which we are actually going to do. Next is MCP tools exposed to AI, which is going to get the balance of your, your wallet that is tied to that ChatGPT email. List all the payments. I don't know what that is. Send payment, request payment, get transactions, and all these things are, they're recorded inside our database so that we can actually use them. Next is how we are going to connect AI clients. So for Casa, we already have this type of JSON that we're just going to copy and then paste it on Casa here. I'm going to show you guys how that works. Casa is the easiest to work with at this point because when I tried it out, it was kind of easy. And then that you don't need to know about that if in case you're a beginner or you're just here for vibes. Adding another payment gateway because I don't want this to only be for M-Pesa alone, but I'm looking at Stripe, Paystack, Flutterwave, Wapay, so that all these things are also done through WhatsApp. Good. So let's get to the code because documentation is cheap. So let's just get to the code and see what this thing has to offer. So I was building it in two ways. So let me just explain here before we actually continue. So the build. So on the build, what I was trying to do was I was making sure, I just need to switch this thing off. Anyway, so the build, what I was looking at when I was building this thing. So I don't know what's happening. Yes, so the build. So I was looking for a front end to just be inside the server, inside ChatGPT, where it's going to ask you to add your phone number so that it's easier for it to get money from your account. So the front end, basically, it's not like a website where it's hosted somewhere, like so that you can go and say, all those things. No, but then it's like when you go to ChatGPT and ask it a question, it will want a reference, right? So on that slash reference is where you actually go and put your phone number, or because you already have an account that is already existing. If you don't have an account that is already existing, then you're not going to be able to access that MCP server on the internet. So until you have a Gmail account that is tied to ChatGPT, then is when we give you that access. Number two, I was looking for a backend. So the backend here is just basically Node.js. I'll not try to be fancy about anything here. And then another thing that I went for was the M-Pesa API. So M-Pesa API plugging into Node.js. And then next is I need to close CapCut so that I have a lot of RAM running. Just a moment. I'm dropping a video, by the way, a video of discussing how, let me see you guys on the face here so that I talk to you. I'm dropping a video, by the way, and the video is around how Predator won the African market. And inside that video, I'm talking about what are the things that Predator did that Red Bull has not done, that other, energy drink companies have not done. So yeah, so be on the lookout. I just finished editing it right now, so we'll actually see how it goes. Yeah. So on the other side, let's open up Chrome so that we do this. Come on, dude. Chrome. Anyway, let's continue. I'll open it later. Yeah, and what else was I looking at? So a backend for Node.js, a front end, just a simple one to connect your number, M-Pesa API to connect everything. I was looking at Casa MCP configuration. Yes. So I want to, because I already wrote the code, so I'll just explain what the code does. And then inside the code, I'll just try to see and guide you guys on what happened. So I have the MCP server here. Inside it, we go to the source API client. So just try to explain as quickly as possible. So the API client here, remember that we are dealing with different type of APIs, right? So we have the API to make payment. We have the APIs to check the database for transactions, create transaction, delete transactions, just how we showed you guys in the guide. Yeah, and then for HTTPS, that is easy. For server.ts, this is the server, like this is now everything inside the MCP that we're actually going to use. So I'm going to just explain a different types, how do I call it, man? I'm going to explain different types of functions that are here so that you actually know what happens. So get wallet balance, get the summary of how much is in my wallet balance, list payment methods, cards, M-Pesa, and then what does it do? Send payment. So the things that you're supposed to put is amount, and then the currency, it just stick to Kenyan. So the recipient who is going to receive the money, either a phone number, merchant account, pay bill, till, and then recipient value, So you're going to say it's going to take a what? It's going to take a pay bill. So inside the pay bill, what happens inside the pay bill? So you're going to put the pay bill number, right? And then the account reference. So I'm putting it as a string so that you can put an account reference like payment for Ungangano or payment for something else that you want to pay for. And then you give us a description of that. The merchant ID becomes the account ID, account number ID, the category, payment method, which is specific to all the users, and then request for payment. So server.ts is essentially the full backbone of our MCP server. Okay, good. So I think all these other ones are just open. I'll try to open source this project so that everyone actually has a taste of what happens on the other side. Then what I'll need to do now is, since I understand how the code runs, I understand all these things, I'm allowed to use AI to actually run it and make my life easier. So we'll start with the cursor and do an STK push from cursor in such a way that where I can send someone money on cursor. It really does not make sense, but we can bring things like, if in case you'd want to pay for cursor, you just pay for cursor inside here, or if in case you'd want to pay for a tool inside cursor already when you're using it, and also cursor has a client whereby you can just go and text all these things. If I click this agent window thing, it's supposed to take me to their cursor window. So now from that window, you can actually access all your cursor things. Okay. So yeah, so again, I'm going to open source Agent Pay so that everyone can get their hands dirty on this code and try as much as possible to put M-Pesa APIs to everywhere they can actually try to put it. What you'll need is the things that you'll need is M-Pesa Sandbox, for example, API keys, consumer, shortcode, passkeys. I don't think Sandbox gives you the B2C, but if in case you'd want me to also host it, and then you can use my keys, Yeah, so now I want us to go back to cursor here and try and host it and try and run it. So I'll just tell M-Pesa deploy. So this is how you're going to deploy it. So I think what I need right now is, because I already have a cursor.json, I just need to run this. So this is the front end. Okay, so I just need to tell cursor to help me, because I already had it. I don't know why I'm going back. I already had it. Okay, anyway, help me start testing on cursor. Step by step. So, and again, I'm going to also host this MCP so that you can call it anywhere. For anyone who is new here, what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring payments on ChatGPT, right? Bring M-Pesa API on top of ChatGPT, whereby on ChatGPT itself, I can say, hello, ChatGPT, send money to this person. And so I put the number of that person there, and then it sends money, or hello ChatGPT, pay my Uber using this, or pay what, and all those things. Okay. So if in case you have like questions, you can ask when that Casa thing is running. Yeah, so let's go. So it's still reading all my files. In the meantime, I can be I can be opening Chrome, but I burned down this computer. And I used to have a laptop in school that used to ah so I need Chrome to open. So it has opened the API itself. It has run it, and then it's saying that um, so step one, which we are going to do. Let me say print it so that I see it. Okay. Anyway, so it says that step one, keep the terminal open. So it has already opened the terminal and it's already running it here. I'll not try to open my e.env again, so I just need to close it from here. I just need to close this again from here. And then it says step two, Casa MCP is already configured. So I already configured it. So inside my casa.json, mcp.json. So when you want to connect uh, MCPs, one of the things that you'd want to do with Casa is you go to the settings and then you go to MCP servers somewhere. It should be somewhere. Um, uh, Agents. Where the hell is this thing? Models, no. Customize, yes. Then inside customize, we have plugins and we have MCPs. So MCP, we have Agent Pay. Agent Pay has 10 tools enabled. One of the tools here is get wallet balance, list payment methods, send payment, request payment, get transaction, list transaction, request refund, list payment, approve pending approvals, confirm approval, list agents. So locally we are connected. So let's go. And then, so step two is already connected. So again, if in case you'd want to connect this, what you come and do is copy it, come to your plugins and MCPs, you click create a new MCP server, and then mcp.json, you just try to change this, and then you save it. It's going to change your MCPs here, and it's going to list it here. And then, so it says reload the MCP in Casa, open Casa settings, feature, find MCP, click the refresh. So we need to click refresh. I don't see refresh or reload. Okay, so reloaded. I think we are good. And then step four, verify tools that appear. So those tools are okay. Now we want to send money on this thing. Okay. So how do I send money? Or how do I fund my account? I think this thing is already open here. Yes. Just need to take this to this other screen. open it so that I can see your questions. I already have an MCP here connected. I'll also show you guys how to connect ChatGPT MCP servers. And then I'll also show you guys how to run all these things, right? Okay, good. So now your direct SDK mode right now, balance is 0. You have linked M-Pesa. In this mode, you don't have to fund. So I would want to say, so what happens? Casa call, send payment, request payment, API sends that. B, fund your account platform wallet. So I can fund via a web app. So I can just like run this call here. Shoot, my phone is what I'm using to record, but I just need to change the number that is on that MCP server. Okay, so I want you to come here. So I need to top up, but the phone that I'm using to record is my phone. Anyway, so what you'll come and do is you'll say, just here on the chat. So on Casa's chat, you'll just like say, send 50 bob to plus 2547084193886. And then for what? For lunch or for supper? For lunch. And then when we send that, it's going to call our MCP server. You see, it has gone to agent, my agent pay. Then it's telling me that my wallet balance is 0. Checking whether direct SDK can still send money or we can top up fast. So I need to change the number, the phone number that is here, so that I send it to my own wallet, and then we can see. So let me just try to add SDK push. So I'll say change the phone number to be plus 2547084193886. This is the number that should receive the SDK push. But essentially, I can just change the number from the DB itself, but I don't want to. That is just like another too much work, because I have to have that. I have to have a what? This thing's called, man, a plugin to do that. So I'll just wait for it to change, and then I'll do an SDK push, and then it will go to my phone. Once it goes to my phone, then we can now send money to someone else here using this MCP server on Casa. Good, updated your linked. So which means the SDK push should be on my specific number. So if I run this command again, it should send. So this says my balance is 0. Okay. So I want to top up my account. Send me, no. send me an SDK push, send me an SDK push to transfer 10 shillings to my to my Agent Pay wallet. So since I already have an MCP that is connected to M-Pesa API, so what I'm trying to do here is, okay, so just a moment. Yeah, I have gotten an M-Pesa SDK push. Got it. So since I was using my phone to record this video, I have just gotten an SDK push, and so what we're going to do, important M-Pesa SDK callback URL points to ngrok. If ngrok isn't running the pin, so my ngrok is not running. But anyway, let's see. Ngrok, just need to open it. HTTP, this thing is running at 3000. So I'll need to take this ngrok API. Killed. Who killed you? Terminal. Why did you kill ngrok? Quarantine because it's infected with file wrapper. Hey, boss, what are those? Why must you put it on quarantine? Let me remove it from quarantine. So yeah, so I'll just say check my Agent Pay balance. Agent Pay balance. You will see that my Agent Pay balance is 10 shillings because I have already moved money to my Agent Pay balance. Get transactions. Next steps. Mode. It should be, yes. You see, your 10 shillings top up of it has actually given me this is still processing. Agent Pay hasn't gotten the M-Pesa callback yet, so the wallet was not credited. But I can say credit my account because I'm the chief here, right? So credit my account with 100 shillings. But don't send me an SDK push. But then I'll bypass it. But right now, because of just like a demo, but you'll not be able to bypass it. On this other screen, let me try to open ChatGPT and let's try to ChatGPT.com. So it should tell me it cannot credit, but anyway, let me try to change something on this code so that it's able to. So if you remove that function, then it can automatically make payments without asking for an SDK push. Good. So my wallet has been credited with 100 bob, and so now I can spend it in Casa. So now I can say send money to +2547085 419386. I can only send to people who are on the platform who have already connected for now, who have already connected their ChatGPTs to the wallets, okay? For lunch. How much do I want to send to them? I want to send to them, let's say 100 about 10 shillings. So on ChatGPT itself, you'll go to settings, and then inside settings, there is connect to MCP tools. Yeah, so you can actually see that StanBob was sent mode payment wallet. Yes, so inside ChatGPT again, you can also like just do the same. So essentially, my thinking was, what if all these people are bringing their tools to ChatGPT, but the Kenyan payment side is still behind. So we can also bring the payment side to life, right? So let me just try to. I need to. Well, so I have explained to you how this thing works, and you can actually see that it has worked. We can send money from Casa. We can also send money from Claude itself. Let me try to open Claude. I don't know why this thing is so slow. Let me try to look from Finder. Let's open Claude, the desktop app, and then send the money again. So what we'll do is we'll come configure our MCP on top of Claude, and then now from there, but then we need to host it so that Claude actually calls it, right? So we'll go and call our, we'll go and host our MCP. And then after hosting the MCP server, what will happen is we will now call it inside Claude. So let Claude just open up so that I can also show you how that is going to work. Claude, come on. Just a moment. There's an email that has been sent to my email. Need an email here. Oof. What is it that is in this laptop that is making this thing go nuts? Is it because we have opened a lot of things? Yeah, so this is Casa. I think we already done with that. So let's try Claude. Let's try and see how to configure our MCP server and how to try to make a payment on Claude. I already did it, so it's not going to be a hell work. I'm waiting for this thing to open up. Got it. So Claude should be up. Anyway, I don't want to this live stream to be so long. I'll open source the code for Agent Pay. My GitHub is called CJEPHUNEH, and then you guys can go and clone it and then work with it. So let me just GitHub myself. If you go to GitHub, github.com/cjefune. You should see me there with a big smile. Let's see this. I'm running 2 simultaneous live streams at a go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 8. Got it. I think we are in. Claude, come. Anyway, I'm having some technical issues here. So if you go to github.com/cjefune, and I'm going to allow. I have a, I even don't know where I put this thing. Yes, if you come here, it should be somewhere. Repositories. If I open GitHub itself, it should be somewhere. Right now, I think these are all only my public because I'm not logged in, but I need to close these things. Quit. I need to close this. Quit. Hold plus quit. I need to close. Let me close my cursor. Quit anyway. I need to quit something else. This one I'm still going to use. I'm still using that. When I come to my Finder, I need to open my GitHub. Dude, why can't I even see GitHub right now? GitHub, ABCDEFGH. ABCDEF. Oh, Lord. Anyway, if you come to my my profile here, you'll see I'm going to try to make sure that, let's try this. Two-factor authentication. Or I think there is one browser that is already open with my GitHub. Let's see. github.com/my repositories. Yes. Just bear with me. I'm running 2 live streams at a go. So it's kind of, yes. So I'll try and look for Agent Pay. Agent Pay. Oh, oops. It should be our organizations. It should be somewhere around here. Agent Pay, yes. So yeah, I'm going to put it public. This is it. I'm going to put it public. I'm going to host it, and then I'm also going to make sure that the API keys are also pushed so that you can see and test it out on your own ChatGPTs or on your own places where you are. But yes, so that is it, man. I basically built a payment gateway on top of ChatGPT, on top of Casa, on top of Gemini, on top of DeepSeek, and on top of this thing. So github.com/cjfune, you're going to be able to find it in like a day or two. Follow me on all my social platforms, and let's make code great again. Anyway, see you on the next one. Again, I'm dropping a video today. The video is about uh, why Predator energy drink won in the African market. So watch that video. Watch it with your family members. Watch it yourself. Watch it with everyone that matter to you. Watch it with and just stops all these live streams. Yes, watch that video. Watch it with your parents. Watch it with your boyfriends and girlfriends. Make sure they like it, they subscribe, and they make sure that they share it. Yes, I'll be dropping it in a few minutes from now. And so, thank you for being here. I'm grateful, and see you on the next one. Bye. And now.